Hello and welcome to Scalemodeling, and welcome to a new build of a gorilla. Yes, you heard it right. Let's bring this over. You can have a look at this. There we go. So this is the Tamiya Honda Gorilla Spring Collection 1.6 scale. Okay. Now, let me tell you a little about this. So back in 1967, Honda released a group of motorcycles called the Monkey, and the Monkey were equipped with tiny little 5-inch tires, rigid suspension, and folding handlebars, because they were designed to go in your car and you could take them off and go for a ride wherever you want. But in let me think, when was it? That was in 1967. I'm just trying to think, 1978, I think it was, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, they introduced this, the Gorilla. Now, everything on this is the same as the Monkey, although it has a much bigger fuel tank. So they call that a bigger chest, like a Gorilla. A 9-litre fuel tank, in fact. And the handlebars don't fold as they did on the previous Monkey, but mainly because this one was designed to get where you want it to go without putting it in your car. So this came with luggage racks on the front and rear, and it has the 9-litre extra fuel tank, and the mileage on it was 70 kilometers per litre, which is pretty good. And it could get a maximum running distance of 630 kilometers. That's pretty good on a 50cc engine. Now, the Gorilla was also equipped with manual 4-speed gearbox, as compared to the Monkey, which had the 3-speed automatic gearbox. So you can imagine how popular this became. Now, what happens is these days, and I know this because I actually went over to Thailand in Bangkok and I bought this model over there. The Honda Monkeys are quite a big thing over there. These type of bikes, Monkeys and Gorillas. Not so much the Gorilla. I don't know how many of these came out. I do see that there on the details of this that there was a production of 3,500 in 1999. Which were the spring edition ones. And these were designed to shine, all right? So everything on this is chrome, pretty much. Virtually every visible part of the bike is chrome, including the gas tank. The side covers, the front forks, chain case, the wheels, the exhaust pipe cover, everything is chrome. But what a lot of people did to this bike and the Honda Monkeys is you customize them, and it's just crazy. The clubs you can see over there and the groups out riding for all these customized bikes looks amazing. So I'm going to customize this. I'm going to leave a hell of a lot of it chrome, of course, but I want to do something different with the fuel tank and probably the front and rear guards and the little cover on the side here. And to help with that, and what we'll do is I'm just going to pause this for a sec, take the plastic off because it's causing a lot of glare, and then what we'll do is we'll have a look in the box and I'll show you the colors I'm going to be using to build this. All right, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, that's a little bit better. This actual model was bought out in 2001, I'm pretty sure it is. Yes, 2001, with all new parts, obviously, because of this edition. It was originally bought out in 1980, so it's been around pretty much since its inception, I would guess. Anyway, so paint. Yes, so let's have a look. First of all, let's have a look inside. Now, you're seeing this for the first time, just as I am. Sorry about the glare. Let me just make some adjustments here so it's not so bright. Back shortly. Okay, that should be a little bit better. All right, so yes, paint. So what I'm going to be using is the Outlaw Paints range. Okay, and Outlaw Paints has some amazing colors here. And what I need for this will be obviously the chrome. So there's our chrome, just put that there. And along with the chrome, we also have, just check what we have. I'm sure I have it here somewhere. Right, then we have our aluminium, which will also be very useful. Chrome, aluminium. We also have a white aluminium, which we'll give a go. Give that a shot, see how that comes up. But the main color that I want to do for the fuel tank and possibly the front and rear guards is going to be this. Look at that. So this is the Outlaw Paints Rum Raisin Pearl. I think that's going to look fantastic. And now, like I say, these motorcycles, people buy these and the first thing they do is pull them apart and customize them, do custom paint jobs and everything. So this is going to be our custom paint job with the Rum Raisin Pearl. Brilliant. All right. Now I also have the usual Outlaw Paints clear coats and primers as well. We also have our blacks if we need them. Okay, so let's take a look in the box at what we've got in here. Let's go through this. So here we go. We've got a couple of sprues here. Now, like I say, this is 1/6 scale. So there we got our crankcase here, chain guard. There's our chain all on here, all in black. Then we've got some chrome parts there. Very nice, and badges. Good. What else do we have? There's our fuel tank. Look at that. The whole tank is chromed. Isn't that amazing? Now, obviously, I'll be painting that, but you could just put that together like that. Give it a clean, shine it up. There's one of the guards. There's the front and rear guards already chromed. Really nice. I will probably be taking the chrome off them because I'm going to paint them. So we'll be soaking those in some oven cleaner or something similar to remove the chrome. The other parts, we'll see how we go. It all depends on how much cleanup they need, where the connection points are from the sprue, if they're going to be in spots that would be seen, because it's literally impossible to touch up chrome unless you know, to match it. But yeah, this part here will also be done in that beautiful rum raisin as well. I see clear parts in there as well. So we've got the headlights and tail lights and so forth. Clear parts in there. That's looking good. Here we've got obviously more chrome. Now that was interesting because I did see a sprue here with the chain. There's the chain on that one, but then here we are, the chrome one as well. So they must have both versions in here for the spring edition chrome bike, or the other version as well. Now the other version, we just go up to this, is just whipping through the instructions here. Okay, so if you're not doing the chrome one, there's also the black, the pure black is the other one, which explains the black chain. But you'd paint that anyway. But yeah, that's good to know. There's the exhaust there as well. There it is there. And is that exhaust? Yeah, there's our exhaust there in chrome. There's our, looks like the rear rack, luggage rack for it. Inside there's some more chrome parts in here. Like I said, most of it will be chrome. Yeah. and it looks quite nice chrome. There's the handlebars there. Okay. There's a lot of sprues, I must say. There's 2 in each bag. In here, there's 2 sprues in this one. These look like all the alloy parts and chrome as well. So a lot of the engine here is the alloy part. There's our levers, brake and clutch, other engine parts all through there. There's our number plate, valve covers, more parts of the handlebars and the front forks. Top of the engine, I would guess. This looks like the frame there, the chrome. So even the frame itself, the chassis, I guess, on the bike is chrome too. Very good. All right, now we have in here, we've got a few bags here. So there's our nice big rubber tyres. Nice big thick tread. There's some springs in there as well, looks like. Some more copper parts and nuts and bolts. Oh, and we've got plenty of hose line as well for our brake lever lines and so forth. So that's all in there. In here, wow, look at that. So we've got a double set. So there's 2 seats that come with the hand grips and a few other parts, and both in the silver or black. I can also see the tail lights already coloured in there as well, the orange and red indicators. So that's good, but yeah, the seats look really nice. Yeah, very good. One for each type of bike, which way you're going to go with it. All right, let me put all this back in here and we'll grab the instruction book and we'll have a quick flick through that. Okay, that's a bit better. We can see that a little better. There's some decals here I forgot to show you as well. We got them in there. That'll be good. All right. So we'll go through this fairly quickly. This isn't just a video for unboxing and review. This is part of our actual build. So we'll be starting it in this video. Now it's quite a thick booklet. I'm surprised actually. Let's have a quick. All right, well, straight on the back page there, we can look at all the parts. So we've got all the sprue listings here and all the parts on the sprue. There they are there. So there's A, B, C, F and G. They're all there. Really nice. They're color coded as well. So what we're looking at is metal plated parts are the light blue, and the darker blue are metal bladed parts as well. There's a different call out for the color. We'll figure that out. Yeah, so there we go. There's also all our screws and springs and nuts and bolts and everything we need. Metal parts are all there listed. And that would be, there was clear parts I saw as well. Yeah, there it is there with the headlights and others. There's our seats with our tyres. Okay. So let's have a look at, quickly go through this. So there's the history and story, which I've just told you most of. All the usual painting tips and warnings. Now there is a very important thing to take note on this particular model. I'll show you straight away as we get to step 1. Tools you need, we know this. Here we got the 2 styles of bike we're building. This is the Gorilla Spring Edition. That's the one we're going with. And then the pure black one here. All right. Then we start with step 1. Now, the thing you'll notice with these instructions is all those blue areas. All these blue areas, and they're all the way through the instructions. What that is they're all the parts where you need to scrape off the chrome so that your glue will adhere. Okay, because your CA glue or whatever you're using is not going to glue very well chrome to chrome. Okay, so in all the instructions here with the frame assembly, for example, you just get the blade, get the back of your blade, just scrape along the edge that's going to be glued, and it tells you all the way through the instructions all the little edges that you need to be scraping for the contact surfaces for all the glue. Okay. The other thing with these instructions is you've got measuring lengths, so the tubing, or whether it's the brakes or whatever it is that you clutch cable, it'll have a length here. You can just lay the tubing out, and this one's 80 millimeters, and you know you can cut it there, and that'll be throughout the instructions. So that's very handy as well. So attaching frame parts is going on, doing all this. Spring going in there. Color callouts are all in there as well. Obviously, they're the Tamiya colors, so I'll be matching those up with what I'll be using with the Outlaw Paint range, which we got sitting here. There they are. I'll put them over there. Right, then we've got the cylinder, engine, putting that together. Going over the page, attaching the cylinder. Okay, so that's going on to the engine. Carburetor's being done, the air cleaner's going on there. Attaching the engine to the frame. Okay, there's the rear swing arm we're working on there, and the muffler. Attaching the rear swing arm and the muffler. It's all common sense, the order by the looks of things. We've got the rear damper, the battery. There's some decals for the battery there, of course. Going over, we've got the drive chain, and there's where our chain's going on and sprocket. All going in there. Again, showing you where the blue areas are that have to be scraped, where all the attachment points are for glue. Attaching the rear dampers, there's our springs. There's the rear wheel going together with our tyre. Step 13, attaching the rear wheel, going on there. Outer tube, I'm guessing that's part of the front forks. There's a headlight going together there, or a blinker. It says blinker. Blinker. There we go. Attaching the headlight. So this is onto the front of the bike, obviously. Right, the inner part of the fork. So look at that. These look like they actually work. They've got a spring on the inside so that that's going to go up and down. It does look like they work. That'd be great. That'll look good. Attaching the front wheel. So you build that up and attach that on. We've got the front forks. So that's front fork going onto your frame. Here we are working on the handlebars. Mirrors going on. Levers going on. Side mirrors there. Then we've got the rear carrier, a rear rack. So that's going on. That's in step 20. Going over now, 21 is the rear carrier again with the number plate and your indicators going on the back. Here's our fuel tank. Big fuel tank going on there. The seat. There's our seat going on, all the parts to that. Here we have all our options for decals going on the seats, depending on which version you're building. And it looks like step 23 is the final one, which is the accelerator cables going on, the meter cable for the tachometer. They think of everything. Brake lines are getting on there, the racks going on. There's our our lengths for cutting all the tubing. Decals going on for the gorilla there. And here we are. There's the black one and the chrome one done. Little black and white photos in there. And we're getting over here to applying decals, tells you how to, we know that. And markings, so that's showing where the decals are in relation to different side views of the bike. And the decal on the tank there, which I don't think that's a decal, I think that's actually a piece that goes on there. Oh, the decal, yeah, if you're doing that, there's a whole full decal that goes over that. And we're back to the part. So there we go, 20 steps to do this. Fantastic, hey? All right, so I'm looking forward to this. I'm not sure how long this will take. but we're going to go into as much detail as possible. Even I'm going to try and show you some of the airbrushing that I do with the paints. Let me just adjust this back again for the color. All right, so there it is. The 1/6 scale Honda Gorilla. We're about to begin. So please, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that all button so that you get notifications every time I upload a video. Not only do I upload a video, but I go live here in Australia in the morning on Fridays. And if you can come and join the live stream, quite a few people come in and watch, see that. You can get a bit of a heads up on where I'm at, what I'm doing, and we chat about modeling and most of the times about everything else. But it's a great way to keep communication going with my subscribers and answer any questions and get some feedback of what they think. So that's on Fridays. You'll see that on my page. You go to the live tab and you'll see all the previous streams. But yeah, I do that every Friday. Also, please, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up at the end, and your comments are always welcome below. I really appreciate the comments as we go along. It helps keep me motivated, and I get a lot of tips and advice from everybody too. So it's a great way to share information. All right, now let me get ready on the desk here, get everything sorted, get all my tools ready, and we'll head into step one. Okay, back in a sec. Okay, so all ready to go. We've got our instructions over here. What I've also done is I've written up a list of all the paints, because there's nothing worse than when you're working on step one, for example, and there's something you've got to paint like X1, and you don't remember what X1 is, and then you've got to go back and find where your paint call out is. And there they are there to, you know what I mean? Like you're making a mess of your booklet and pages, and, you know, I try to keep things neat. So rather than having to refer back through the pages all the time, I make a list here. I'll have that sitting up in front of me. And also, all these are Tamiya paints, but where possible, I will replace them, as I showed you before, with the Outlaw Paints. In this case, the rum raisin will be our main color, but we've also got the aluminium, the chrome, all the rest. So what else we got? There's a metallic gray, which will be interesting. So yeah, so that's what I'll do. I'll put that where I need it. Now, the next thing before I start anything, and very important to do, is to wash all these sprues. So we're going to take them all out of the bag, even though they're all chrome and a lot of them will not be painted. I'm still going to wash the whole lot. Okay, so basically just using very warm soapy water, just with dishwashing liquid. I'll soak them in there. I'll go over them with a light brush. Usually a toothbrush will do, or something similar. And then we'll be right to just put them out, make sure they all dry properly, and we'll be fine. That includes the seats here as well. We'll do everything. All right, so I shall go and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we go, starting with sprue A on step one. Now what I'm going to do is at the beginning of this, each step through the progress as we go, I'll put the picture up in the corner here, okay, so you can have a look at it. And then if you need to, you can freeze it there and go back and have a look. At the end of the video, I will put all photos of all the instructions all through, like a slideshow at the end of the video. So if you need to refer, if you're following along and building this, and you need to refer back, you can go to the end of the video and have a look at the slideshow for all the steps. The other thing, I won't leave it up there like I do in some of my other videos. I'll take it back down. Okay, so looking at this, I've just cleaned all the parts, dried them in the sun, rinsed them and dried them, and that's all looking good. Now I'm noticing that they're saying that all these surfaces need to be, it says portions indicated in the blue require cement, and it says remove plating from areas to be cemented, which is obviously the plating under here as well. I wouldn't have thought, well, there's no chrome under there on the points that we'll be touching, but we still need to scrape this, so we'll have a look and see how that comes off. We're working on the frame at the moment, so we need to take these off, and then there's a few other pieces in there as well. All of the parts on step one are on this sprue, although I am seeing one J5 piece, which is part of the battery cage. It's on the other sprue. So what I'm thinking right now is I will take all these pieces off because I do want to leave this frame chrome. There may be some parts in there we may have to do some black on. We'll have a look. All right, so let's stop talking. Put these off. I'm also interested to see where the connection points and how well they go together, because we want to have these not leave any seam lines is important. So I'm just going to take them off carefully like this. We'll just lay them down. There's that. That. There we go. You might notice I gave these a good clean. These are my Display. I think you pronounce them DSP. It's spelled DSPIAE, Display. Really nice. They're very light and easy to use, and they're very sharp. They cut this pieces off really nicely. So yeah, I gave them a clean. The handles were looking a bit grubby. All right, so there's that. We'll keep going here. So that's parts A44 and was it A44? It's very difficult to see A44 and A45. Then we want A24, which will be this one here. A24. And we've got A23. A23 is there. I'm cutting these off right on the sprue as well. Don't get too close to your pieces because there's a chance you could accidentally take them too close and damage the part. So you don't want to do that. I've got A18. A18 is this one up here. 18. A29 is that one there. Okay. A29. I have to apologize in advance. You may hear some birds squawking soon. It's early in the morning here. The sun's come up, and soon they'll be showing up on my balcony to get some cookies that I put out for them in the morning. That's become a habit. Yeah, it's a regular thing now, so you may hear some birds squawking in the background. Number 30 is this one in here. Okay, there's actually, looks like two pieces. Oh no, it's the sprue. The sprue goes up over there, if you can see it. I thought that was all one piece there, but that's a bit of sprue. I guess that's protecting. It's a good idea, so you don't lose it. So you cut it off from there, and then cut that off there, and I'll show you what I mean. Now they've been pretty thoughtful on the way they've got this attached. So That's to stop the piece breaking off. Just give it a bit of an extra brace, I guess you'd call it. There we go. Not bad. So that's there. We'll put that there. That's also a part of the where it connects, the battery cage connects. And then we want A28. I don't think I've got that off yet, have I? A28 is this one here. Okay, good. Take that off. There we go. A28. Now we've got A21. A21. 20, 22, A21. There it is in there. This is the actual cage. We might keep them a little bit separate, cage pieces, because you obviously make that up as a sub-assembly. A33 is 33. That's probably this big piece here, no? Oh, A33 is down there. Good. Get that. And the last one is the J5 on the other sprue. So yeah, I'll go grab that and be back in a second. Okay, one more tip. Try and keep them back in the plastic bags when you finish with them. 2 reasons. Top bits getting scratched if they're up against other sprues or anything else. And the other reason is if anything falls off, it's going to fall in the bag. Be a lot easier to find than wherever else you've got them. But yeah, keep them like that, back in the bag and in the box. So the other one was a black piece on the J sprue, and it's just that little piece in there, J5. We'll just nip that off like that. That goes there. Strange, I don't know why that piece is black, but will probably make sense as we put things together. So that's the end of that sprue, and like I just said, things back in the back. You can see, look how some of these small pieces are like this. You know, so if you're going to get anything knocked off, best it land in the bag. Hey, all right, that's good. And you can see there too, they've got a piece sticking down there. Oh no, that's a piece. Oh, I see. That's unusual the way that is. That's actually part. Wonder why it's sticking like that. Huh. See how that is? It's that one piece on the sprue, it's sticking like that. Surprised that hadn't broken off. Anyway, that's why we keep them in the bag. All right. Okay, so now also on this step 1 is there's some tubing, and it's for a spark plug lead, apparently. So there's a length of tubing that's going to be 8 centimeters long. It's fairly long, 80 millimeters, 8 centimeters. And on the instructions, it shows you the length to cut it. So that's easy. We just lay out a bit of line, which I will probably get now out of this bag, which has got our tires and stuff in there. I'll just open that up. There we go. Now for things like this, straight away we got pieces falling out. What I would do is get a separate container. So one of these food containers, you can buy these in little cheap shops with lids, and I'll just use a bit of packing material there. Take that out. We go in, keep things, and I'll just drop all the pieces in there so they're not going to get lost. There's a bag of springs and more brass parts. There's 2 big springs there. These, as soon as I opened the bag, I could smell the tire rubber. They actually smell like tires. Oh, look, there we go. There's another piece of brass rod in there as well. Nothing in the other one. And look at the tread on them. Already certainly good off-road tyres they are. Look at that. All right. We'll put them in there too. And here's our line that we need. Let me just get this. Take that off. There we go. One thing I hate about these, I don't know why they do it with the tape. Look at the white marks that's left on them. I mean, it comes off easy enough. You just got to, wipe it. But yeah, it's strange why they use tape that, I don't know, it's got some sort of a strange, it's like got glue on there. Just use some normal plain sticky tape. Get rid of that. Yeah, it's getting all over the place already. Okay. There we go. So a bit of isopropyl should get that off. In fact, let's just do that. Put some here. Put it on a bit of a cloth here, microfiber fiber cloth. Like that. See if that runs through there. I'm going to take that off. Yeah, beautiful. There, see? The rest of it is going to be all throughout the line, but we'll clean it up as we go. But yeah. Anyway, let's know that can be fixed pretty quick. All right, so what I'll do now is I'll just bring the instructions across here. There we go. There it is lined up there. We'll just measure one end to there. Now I make it a rule is just go a little few millimeters over. All right, so yeah, I would just go a couple millimeters over like that, because sometimes you need that little extra bit of room, and you can always make it shorter. You can't make them longer. All right, so yeah, and there's always excess of this anyway. Yeah, usually you end up having a little bit left over, so it's not like you're going to run out. But if you build bikes previously, it's a good idea to keep your leftover bits because you might need them just in case that doesn't happen. All right, so there we go. Get out of the way. All right, so let's have a look at putting these together. I need to go wash my hands. I've got that sticky stuff from that tape on my fingers. I'll be right back. Okay, clean hands. Another tip, fingers pick up so much grease and grime. It's always a good habit. I have a habit. I must wash my hand 20, 30 times a day when I'm modeling. Every time I take a break or go away, get interrupted, and do something else, I'll always wash my hands. Just dishwashing liquid, good stuff. And yeah, just to get, otherwise you end up with fingerprints all over it. I may, throughout this video, be wearing something like these because there's so much chrome. I don't want to get my fingerprints, even with my clean hands. Sometimes you can't avoid it, and there's so much chrome on these that I might wear gloves to handle them. I just feel it awkward though, so occasionally if I've got gloves on, that's why. Otherwise, we'll see what happens. But for the moment, that can come off. All right, let's get on. Step one. So going by the instructions, let's have a look at the way this is going to go together. What we first have to do is work out what we're going to use to scrape these, all right, and remove those connection tabs. In here, this case, there was just the three of them. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. I'm just contemplating use that to take that off. See, the trouble with it is when you take them off like this, it's all good and fine, but there's still a little, you can still feel it there. And now coming in with a nice sharp blade like this, we could just carefully take that off. Okay, because we don't want to scratch off more chrome than we need to. And it depends on where, see, that's the position it's going to be. I'm guessing a lot of this may be covered in the finished bike, so you may not see that spot. In the instructions, it does actually tell you to touch up these spots, but really, if you put some chrome, there's no way you're going to match up to the original chrome on the plastic. It's just no chance it's going to happen. You'll always see something there. This is why the option is to take the chrome completely off and respray them. It's a lot of work, but you do get you know, that's the way you got to do it sometimes for the result. So we'll have a look at this now. The instructions are showing that all this area has to be scraped because it's all going to make contact with glue. What I've decided to do is I've got a separate one here, which normally I have written on it PE, because this was the one I used for doing photo etch. There's no photo etch in this kit. This is from other kits. But this blade, I'm going to use that for this. And we're just going to have a look at how easy this scrapes. How easily we can scrape this off. Okay, so that's going to work. Let's see how I'm going across this. I mean, you don't have to get it 100%. All right. The important thing is to not slip and scrape on the other side where your chrome is, you know. So this is going to work. Obviously, this makes things take a lot longer. There we go. But you've got to do this so that the glue has a surface to stick to. All right, that's the whole idea behind it. Now, I'm not going to do this on camera. We'll be here forever as I do all this. But just about every part needs to be done. Even on this piece here, you know, they're telling me here that this top here needs to be, all the chrome actually needs to be taken off that. Because this is going to sit, check, in there. All right. So yeah, that's going to sit in there like that. That makes sense like that. I don't know if that's going to go there, but okay. So the chrome has to be taken off the top of this. Now picking up this, I also notice there's a seam line all the way on both sides of that as well. So a piece like this is probably going to be worth re-chroming. Okay, so yeah. All right, there's another one like that where all the top of this that you got to take the chrome off. And I think the ends here as well, yeah, where they're going to make contact. So, and again, I'm seeing seam lines all through here too. So, I mean, they come off easy enough. They scrape off easily enough. You just use the back and just go along it. But obviously that's going to ruin the chrome, and you can't do that. I mean, you're going to have to re-chrome the piece for that to happen. So, yeah. And just looking at this piece, I'm just noticing that it's hard to tell, but under here it's not very well chromed compared to this side. I don't know if you can see the difference. So again, it's another piece that hopefully we can soak this and take the chrome off. I will have to do a test. My last build I did, the chrome sprue, I couldn't get the chrome off. I don't know what that plastic was, but the oven cleaner and other products I tried wouldn't take the chrome off. So I had to paint over the chrome. So fingers crossed it'll work on this and we'll be able to take the chrome off on these. Okay. But yeah, see, the seam lines are going to be an issue. Let me just check with the two of these together. That's going to go like this. It's going to join. Something like that and that. Okay. So, I don't know if you can see it, but, yeah, that's gone in there. There we go. So that's seam lines all the way. All right, but on the bike itself, let's have a quick look at it. Here we go here. So most of that is going to be covered by the seat, the fuel tank. You're really probably not going to see any of that, except in the front here, maybe. Yeah, decisions to make. Yeah. All right, let me think about this for a second and we'll come back. Okay, back again. I just wanted to have a quick show you here. Look how chrome that is on one side, and on this side it's not. Now that's fine if parts like this are going together and it won't be seen. But there are things on here, for instance, I don't know what part this is, but see how that's chromed on there. But if you turn it over, it's not chromed on that side. And yet that looks like a part that you'll be able to see both sides of. So I don't know the process. There's a piece here. So this is one piece along here, and if I remember right, I think it's part of the foot pegs that go underneath. Now, one side of it's chrome, which is probably the bit that shows the most, but the other side is all alloy. So, yeah, it's a shame about that. Same with the exhaust. See, this looks like the exhaust here. Okay, nicely chromed all the way up to here. Okay, but when we turn it over, this is all alloy. It's not chromed, and yet that will be visible. So I'm thinking it's best that I re-chrome all these parts. So, which means take the chrome off. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this piece here as a test. Okay, because you can already see that one side's dull, the other side's chrome. Okay, so this needs to be done. There's also the seam line down there. So we'll do a test with this. I'll leave the sprue bit on there too, because we can trim that after the chromes all come off. So let me go get the oven cleaner that I'm going to use, and we'll drop it in there and hopefully it'll come off. Okay, we'll be back in a sec. Okay, so there's my oven cleaner. This works fine normally. We're just going to drop that in there. Should I do a time lapse? No, I'll leave it in there. I'll leave it in there and let that sit there, and we'll come back, and hopefully in about 10 minutes that should be chrome free. Okay, we'll be back in a sec. Hey there, we're back again. We're not having much luck removing the chrome. My usual oven cleaner didn't do a thing. So what I've done is I've moved across into my toilet cleaner, which was suggested by one of my subscribers, Paul, and hopefully that will work. Although I do know from the past that when that hasn't worked and I've tried this, there's been no difference. All right. Yet I've used chrome from another sprue that's come straight off, no problem at all. I've just put that in there a couple of minutes ago. We'll leave it. We'll see what happens, and hopefully we'll get some of the chrome will come off. But this one didn't work. Okay, we'll come back and check later. Okay, we're back. We have had no luck with this. Unfortunately, it won't come off. It will only come off on the underside of the sprue, not the other side. So if you look at this, for example, all that beautiful chrome work on the top, when you turn it over, there's nothing there. And when I'm trying to soak it, it'll take off what's on that side, you know, the really light bits, all right? It'll take that off and look like this, but it won't take it off the other chrome side. Now, I have managed to scuff this up a bit with some of the Icky Sticky sandpaper, and it will come off that way, but there's no way I'm going to be able to sand all these parts. So, other than this one, which I've obviously got to repaint, that's what I'm going to do with most of this. So, what we'll do is I'll go through and make sure, check all the parts that can be seen on the bike. Okay, and those parts I will respray. Okay, so what I'll be doing is I'll be, for instance, the frame here, I'll glue this together, I'll take off the nubs, I'll sand the seam line off, get rid of that, tidy it all up, and then what I'll do is, thank you to Mr. Paul Price, one of my subscribers, who said if I use the Icky Sticky 3000 sanding sponge, which I'll grab now, I'll show you. Okay, so we've got a few here. There it is. There's the 3000. There's our 3000. All you do is just cut off some pieces the size you want, and yeah. So the idea would be just to scuff up the chrome on here. Just go across it, just to get a bit of a rough surface on it. And then I'll hit it with the primer, the Outlaw Paints primer. And then when that's done, the gloss black will go on as usual. And of course, the beautiful chrome go on there as well. Yeah, but most of the parts, like for instance, all of these parts here, which included the battery cage and a few other little bits and pieces that hook onto the frame here, most of it's not going to be seen because there's a fuel tank covering here, the seat's going to cover here, so a lot of that you won't see, and these little bits in here, I'm not going to go to the trouble of worrying about these little seam marks, and they're not going to be seen. Okay, so that's it. All right, enough of that. Sorted that problem out. This one, of course, I will obviously have to paint that up and get that done, and we're good to go. All right, so let's move on. Step one's taking us a while, but we're learning and we know what to do for the rest of the build. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so I was showing you how I was going to do this with this and just scrape this off. But I found out that using a bigger one like this is a MIG ammo sanding stick, it's 240. Look at that. It just done. So that's going to do it a lot quicker. For the smaller pieces, I'll use the blade for sure. But for this, look at that. That's just going to takes that off easily. All right. There is another bit in there. That side's done now. Okay. Yeah, there we go. I'll do this side now. And I think we can glue this together, although it looks like that piece that I had soaking might have to be attached before we glue this together, because it goes between. Yeah, it goes in there. All right. I shall continue on. I won't, like I said, I won't show you all this, you know. But definitely that's going to make things a bit easier, just to rough up, to get that surface on there. All right, guys, back again in a second. Okay, welcome back. So I've just got that piece that goes in the center there painted. It's undercoated. I've just put the gloss black in place onto it. And now we're just going to put together this. I've trimmed up all the connection points on all these parts. So we're good to go to connect them all in their positions. So now we're just going to do this battery box, get that done. And let me see if I can get this in place. Fumbly fingers. That's pretty much where that's going to go, right in there. Just a simple touch like that. And then we'll do the other side. That. Okay. And then there's this part here, which should go in that way. Yeah, that way. Not going to play easy, is it? Okay, I know what to do. That's where I need to hold it. Hold it by that. That's going to go on there. Double check the instructions. Looks good. So that's pushed all the way. Yep. All right. I'll get my third hand, which I don't really have. I'll glue this on. We'll be back in a sec. Okay, that's done. There it is. And now this needs to be painted black. So I will go prep that and get that painted black. Yep, and then we'll come back and hopefully I'll have the centerpiece chromed and we'll be able to put all this together. A lot of these parts here are for, a couple of them are for parts of this battery cage. There is another piece that can go on now pretty much is this one. What one is it? Piece E29. Here's that one. And that goes the right way. It's going to go in there like that. It's good. I'll attach that now as well. Okay. Pretty good. What else have we got? What I'm doing also on the instructions, which you won't be able to see, but just for your own reference, I circle the pieces that I've got prepped, so ready to glue. And then as I glue them together, like I've done these, I'll come along and I'll put a cross through to show that those are all glued together. All right. And then, of course, when I complete a part, like step one, I'll just tick that or cross that off completely and we move on to the next part. Okay, so that one, A29 is now in place. I go like that. Let's just say you don't get interrupted and come back and need to work out where you're up to. Yeah, that's about it. So this piece here, which is this one, which has the spark plug, get that route right, lead connects to this one. And this goes on this frame here. And we turn it that way. That's going to sit in there, just like that. It's going to go in there like that. And that being the case, I shall glue that in and go check on our painted piece. Back in a sec. Okay, we're back and we've got these parts finished. So let's have a look at first of all this one. So this was the piece that I chromed up again after I sort of unsuccessfully took the original chrome off. You can see how well that's come up and how good that looks. So that's the Outlaw Paints chrome. Yeah, looks fantastic with gloss black base. Okay, so now what I want to do is simply this is going to go into there like this, and this end goes in there. Now I figure there's no point gluing this because it's going to be locked in between these, I think. Yeah, so it's not going to come out. That's going to go in there. Yeah, I think we're pretty much just going to do a quick test fit here and see how that's going to go together. Okay, that's looking good there. That's looking good. And that's going to join in there. Fantastic. So what I will do is now the battery box that we did will go into here. There's our parts there. This is it here all painted up. So we've done that in the gloss back. That's all ready to go. We need to glue this together first. We'll just do a quick check on this. So that's going to go in there, that. And of course those parts will go on. No problem at all. All right. Now I've just realized that we need to attach the tubing. So otherwise it's going to be difficult to get in there. So let's take that apart again. This is for the, was that spark plug, I think? Spark plug lead. Yeah. And it's saying to send it down that side, so let's see how we go with that. Just put that in there. And to go on. Yeah. I will do a touch of glue just to make sure that doesn't slide off because it'll be a bit tricky to get on once this frame's together. I will do that and we'll be back in a second. We'll join these together. Okay, so I'm going to use the contactor cement. I only want to put a very small amount on. I don't want it coming off and, you know, squeezing out anywhere. So I'm going to put a very light layer around. Well, let's just do this there. There. Good. There too. And on the top of there and there. And this one here. That should be what we need. Okay. Line them up. That's good. Now I've got some pegs here to help hold them in place. Make sure this is connected up. Good. One more clamp on the end there. And just need to hold that in there tight. Might actually use a stronger clamp on there. All right, I'm happy with that. All right, so I'll leave that for just about half an hour just to make sure it sets properly. Then we'll come back, put the battery box on here. Okay, be back in a second. Okay, welcome back. And it's been 15 minutes. All right, I lied. I didn't wait half an hour. And because I want to get this next part on. Okay, so let's put that there. Let's have a look. We've got to get this piece needs to go in there. Simple enough. That one is keyed to fit one way, so that's going to go on in there like that. And then this just still got me a little bit confused as to the way that's going to go on. That's going to go into there. Ah, I see. No, it doesn't fall through there. Okay, so that piece has got nothing to do with it. Yeah, it's the angle. The drawing in the on the instructions, it makes this look like it's directly above that, but they've got it twisted, and it doesn't. It looks, yeah, different. So what I'll do is pretty easy, really. We'll just glue this piece in. I'll just give it a touch on the bottom, and it should be fine. Yeah. One. There we go. There we go. Okay. So that goes into there like that. Done. And this piece, I guess I can glue that on there now, can't I? I'll do that. There we go, that's all that needs. Put that in there. Like that. Now I'll wait a few minutes because I really want that to set before I try and place this down on top. Just to be sure it's all going to fit. Actually, let's do a test fit. That's going to go there. And this will go in there. Oh, hang on. Glad I test fitted it first, aren't I? That, because of the thickness of the paint, I need to trim a little bit of that off. I will. So in the meantime, we'll let that dry like I was going to. I'll just trim a little bit. Well, here we go. Let's do it. So what we'll do is just go like that around the edges. Excess off there. It's sort of like getting a square peg into a round hole, but now we're going to be right, I would hope. Okay, another test fit. Top one in, bottom one. There we go, that will fit. You really just need to let that dry for a bit more. Okay, back in 3 minutes or 1 second for you guys. Okay, like I said, 2 seconds. Now we can put this on. We'll go in place there. Go there. Done. All right. Happy with that? Okay. Success. Step 1 is done. Just take these off here, take this off here. Now I've got fingerprints and marks all over this thing. So what I'll do is I'll grab some, got some isopropyl alcohol here and a clean microfiber cloth. I'll go on and just get all that shiny again, even though I'm probably going to dirty it up again, handling it more, which may be the reason why I need to start wearing the gloves. We'll see. But yeah, there we go. Step 1. Okay, excellent. Well, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please like if you liked it, share if you wish to share it. Please comment below and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll be back to watch part 2 fairly soon. I'm predicting that there will be more than 1 video a week. We might get 2 of these out a week, and I'll try them and release them the day before I do my live stream on Fridays. If I release this on say Thursday morning, about 24 hours before I do my live stream, then we can chat about what we were doing. About that, actually talk about modeling in the live stream. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and don't forget there's also super chats available now, or super comments or something. Have a look in the options there where you can actually donate $1 or so, and that will go towards something I'm really looking forward to buying that I need is a new microphone. Currently I'm using the webcam microphone built into it. I'm having lots of troubles with my sound and audio, so I want to get a decent microphone. So maybe if anyone wants to do a little bit generous and make a little donation, that'd be fantastic. It'd be great. So hopefully it'll all go to something that will improve your experience in watching these videos. Okay guys, thank you, and I'll see you all in part 2. Bye for now.